MotoGP's shortest ever pre-season has concluded, and all that's left for us now is to finally go racing, even if the coronavirus outbreak means we're not exactly sure when we are going to see some bikes on track. But with only 6 days of track action in 2020 so far, there's plenty of questions still to be answered whenever the action does get underway. We're going to look at the biggest questions still to be answered, but make sure you leave us your thoughts in the comments below as well. It hasn't been an easy winter for Marc Marquez as he attempts to recover from shoulder surgery right at the start of the testing ban in December. Undergoing the same operation as 12 months previously, except this time on the other side, a trapped nerve after the operation has meant that recovery has been hampered, even if he was quick enough to quash rumours that he doesn't need a second surgery on it to release the nerve. Admitting at the last test of the year that it's meant he's unable to use his own superhero-like abilities to save crashes and ride around problems on the Honda, there's a golden opportunity for his rivals to make hay while the sun is shining at the beginning of the year. However, while we don't know how long it's going to take to get the season under the way, it's all extra time for Marquez to recover. Marquez was vocal throughout testing about the 2020 Honda, with his complaint shared with team veteran Cal Crutchlow. Both struggling to get the new RC213V to brake, turn and accelerate as required. It seems that ditching the aerodynamic package with only a few hours of testing left seems to have found a miracle for them. Bringing echoes of his 2016 season, where a similar recovery at Losail was able to save his season at the last minute, he sounded like a new man after the final night of testing. It hasn't fixed his problems entirely though, and essentially having to start again with their entire winter development program means there's a lot of work to do before round one finally happens. For the last few seasons, Vinales has been the undisputed MotoGP king of winter testing. Able to push out fast laps on request, it has nonetheless all been in vain when he's been left unable to convert it into race pace come Sunday. But, seemingly a changed man in Sepang and Losail, it's Vinales 2.0 who's heading into the 2020 season, and it could make for some interesting conclusions. The one question remaining now is whether or not he's capable of sorting out his opening lap drama. MotoGP's worst starter and unable to get the best out of the bike with a full tank of fuel. He thinks he's found that, aided in part by Yamaha's new hole shot device. With testing not really showing the true picture, only time and a proper race start will inform us for certain. Aprilia is going into the season in an exciting place, with Aleix Espargaro confident that a brand new engine configuration is the final puzzle piece he needs to finally be able to challenge for podiums. Espargaro was rapid throughout testing, and despite knowing they need time to fully understand their new bike, there are a few races this season where they can potentially challenge for the podium as well. However, the team is also still in a state of flux as they await news on Andrea Iannone's drug ban. It seems not to have hampered them too much over winter with their testing program, but the team's raring to go regardless of who's riding the second bike. KTM have made huge gains over the winter break. They brought a radically new bike, they've lined up with more experience than ever before, and they're full of motivation after really strong winter testing, and it's going to be really exciting to see what they can deliver. Boosted by a lucrative Red Bull deal and a huge workforce at the Austrian headquarters, their progress so far in MotoGP has been impressive, and Paul Espargaro and Ricky Brad Binder were really strong throughout testing. Some have suggested that Binder is the perfect rider for the project as well. With an influx of new talent and no understanding in the difference between a good MotoGP bike and a bad one, perhaps the key to understanding KTM's success the way it worked for Fabio Quartararo the year before. We all know that Valentino Rossi is a racer, not a tester, and 12th in the combined times at the final test isn't something we should be reading too much into. Quick throughout the weekend, it looked like Rossi had made a similar step forward to the one that the rest of his Yamaha colleagues had made. But he didn't leave Sepang upbeat. Still suffering from tyre degradation in the final laps of his long run, he admitted he's not quite ready to win races on the Yamaha yet. It's important as well to figure out just how competitive he does start the season, because that's going to be the deciding factor in whether or not the 41-year-old remains in the class beyond the end of this season. Suzuki riders Alex Rins and Juan Mir have been the quiet men of testing, rarely setting the world on fire, but getting an excellent job done behind the scenes, refining their GSX-RR into what looks to be the match of anything that the bigger Japanese factories can produce. It has never started the season looking so competitive. Rins in particular is looking like he might be ready to break through the ranks of title contention off the back of 2 race wins last season. The only question still to be answered by their riders relates to their qualifying woes from 2019. An absolute disaster last year and still not quite fully addressed in testing. They need to place themselves better in the grid if they want to be involved in the fight for race wins every weekend this year. For 3 seasons now, Ducati have looked like title contenders early in the year, only to fall by the wayside as time progresses. Andrea Dovizioso was now a 3-time runner-up to Marc Marquez, but he still hasn't come close to tackling him for the title. Can he turn that around in 2020? It remains to be seen, but he'll need to quickly overcome issues that Ducati have been having dialling in a new setup with Michelin's new rear tyre. Time is of the essence as well, because with Marc Marquez starting this season not at full fitness, there's a chance to get some points in the bag early on. Michelin's new rear tyre has been met with mixed response in the paddock so far, although not for the usual reasons. Giving more grip, especially mid-corner, it has closed the gap between the inline 4 engines of Suzuki and Yamaha and their V4 rivals. Ducati in particular still haven't worked out how to get the best from the new rubber, which is exactly how they don't want to be starting the season. They'll get there eventually, but how long it takes could be a key factor in the championship battle. Don't miss a moment of action from the 2020 MotoGP season at the race when the year finally kicks off.